Yo, 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 what's up, Yankees fans? It's Rob from the Pinstripe Chronicles, where fans become family. I'm going solo for now. I'm hoping I can get Tats or Donald to join, or anyone who's got access to the link. Maybe I'll put the link out if anyone wants to discuss the breaking news we got going on here, because the New York Yankees have their first baseman. What's up to Dab in the chat? What's up to Chris the Flash in the chat? Hopefully some more people pop in soon. Make your opinions be heard about this Paul Goldschmidt news. The New York Yankees have their first baseman for 2025, a one-year deal for $12.5 million to Paul Goldschmidt. So first and foremost, I'll just get my opinion here. I'm not the highest on this signing. He wasn't my first choice, my second, even my third. Might have not even been my fifth choice at first base, if I'm being honest. But I do see what the Yankees were looking to get. They wanted to go cheap. They wanted to go with somebody that's not attached to the qualifying offer. They don't want to give up more picks. They don't want to give up more international signing money. And you kind of saw the writing on the wall once. Yeah, Brad, me and Brad were just talking a little bit. And I was like, let me just go live. I told Tats and Donald, we'll see if they join. I don't know if they got the message or not, but still plenty of time. We're going to be here for a little while just talking some Yankees baseball because a lot of news here from the trade last night to obviously the signing today and what could be coming up momentarily, potentially, for the Yankees following this move. But Goldschmidt does add a veteran presence. He does add a potential 20 plus home run bat to this lineup that desperately needed some pop in it because it didn't have a first baseman. The projected first baseman was Ben Rice or DJ LeMahieu, and let's face it, that's just not going to cut it. So for $12.5 million for 1 year, I think the Yankees made a decent call here with Goldschmidt. Maybe this is me just trying to convince myself. Certainly, like I said, wasn't my first choice or my second choice or my third, but hey, he's now the Yankees' first baseman, and hopefully he can just add some much needed balance and pop to this lineup. They've now added Bellinger and Goldschmidt, and what could be next? As Brad's saying here, buckle up for an Arenado trade next, and that could be what is happening after this. There's been a lot of chatter as of late. Mark Feinsand put out an article last night, and Brian Hoke tweeted it just a few minutes ago. What's up, Dev? Could the Yankees potentially trade for Nolan Arenado now that they have Paul Goldschmidt? I'm not too sure if I'm too high on that, but I can see the Yankees going that route. They technically could use a third baseman and shift Jazz back to second. I'm not, again, this seems like desperation to add bats to the Yankee lineup. I don't know if it's them, they just wanted to go cheap. Are they staying under the tax? Because right now they're only like a few million under on the luxury tax payroll, so they'd have to get creative. Apparently, they did try to trade Stroman for Arenado, and the Cardinals said no. But there's that article that Feinsand put out that Arenado might be willing to waive his no-trade clause to whoever signs Paul Goldschmidt. Well, now, Paul Goldschmidt is a New York Yankee. Do the Yankees go back to St. Louis and say, hey, what do you think? Would he approve a trade here? And the Cardinals are apparently willing to eat some money to trade him. We know Arenado revoked a trade to go to Houston. What's up, TC? Good to see you. So there's a lot of speculation now what the Yankees are going to do. Are they done? I don't think this means they're done. They still need to fill second base, get a little pop in this lineup. Goldschmidt isn't necessarily the guy he was 2 years ago that won an MVP. It'd be great if he can return to that form, but if he does put up numbers that were similar to last year, it's definitely an upgrade. I can't say it's not. Anthony Rizzo was brutally bad last year. Ben Rice was okay at times, but overall not good. DJ LeMahieu was a lost cause, and they had to use John Birdie at first base last year in the playoffs along with Cabrera, so they needed a first baseman. Paul Goldschmidt still hit 245, 22 home runs. He's still dangerous, says TC, and he still could be. He can absolutely be dangerous, so it's still a wait-and-see game. It's only December 21st. A lot can still happen. The Yankees could still move Stroman's money and use that towards Arenado, who's making $21 million, but if the Cardinals are willing to eat some money there, maybe he costs even less. There's a potential that a combination of Goldschmidt and Arenado can cost you less than it would for, what's his name, Pete Alonso or Alex Bregman. So maybe that's the route the Yankees are going. Get the veteran bats in here because we know that window of Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole that we always talk about is closing a little bit. Chris says he likes the move. I'm warming up to it. And maybe it's just because we finally have a first baseman. And like I said before on previous shows, the Yankees can't really get picky because we didn't have one. And I guess anyone's an upgrade. Was Goldschmidt my top choice? No. He is 37. What's up, Donnie? We got to hope he's healthy, and we just got to hope that that second half production from him is going to carry over to this season. Maybe with a new team, some new life, a team that's in it to win. The Cardinals are kind of going through this transition. Maybe some new life is brought into him, kind of like what happened with Matt Holliday back in 2017. That would be the best case scenario, is we'd get production from Goldschmidt that he had last year. That's an upgrade. And again, the floor is so low. John S., what's going on? Are the Yankees going after Bregman or Arenado? I'd say Arenado is more likely than Bregman right now. They don't want to give up more picks, and they don't want to sign anyone. They don't want to sign anyone tied to the qualifying offer because picks and international money. It's simple as that. Let's see what Chris is saying. Can't be no more worse than Rizzo. Yeah, again, the floor. The floor is so low for the Yankees first baseman. They just have to be better than what we had last year. It is not that difficult to do that. The Yankees first baseman were horrific last year. I don't remember the last time a Yankee first baseman hit a home run. If Goldschmidt gives us 20 home runs, I'll take it. And the Arenado chatter is, Wayne, Rizzo stunk last year. I hate to say it because I really did like Anthony Rizzo. He was a fantastic bat when we first got him. Obviously, his defense was top-notch, but post-concussion, he just wasn't the same player, Wayne, and unfortunately, the Yankees can't rely on that. Goldschmidt is better than Rizzo right now, and I know he's older, but Goldschmidt was the better player last season. Post-concussion, Anthony Rizzo just was not the same guy. That's just an unfortunate truth. The injury really, really screwed his career up because he was playing at an MVP level in 2023. Let's see what we got here. Just remember, we get Arenado, then Jazz goes back to his better position at second. And that's kind of why maybe it's just my head talking to me, trying to talk myself into this Arenado-Goldschmidt combination, but that would make our infield defense fantastic. That's one thing. This will work for us to go after Tucker next year, says Lou. Maybe. It's a one-year commitment, but that would just on the assumption that Bellinger is back next year. He would play first, and they can get Tucker for the outfield. Vladdy and Tucker have to be at the top of the next offseason wish list. I would assume and Murakami, I would assume it's one of those three are the Yankees' top choices. That's still a year away, though. But again, once Christian Walker went to Houston and I saw that contract, I said the Yankees aren't getting Alonso. They're not getting... That's okay, Chris. I appreciate you popping in. By the way, make sure you guys go check out Chris the Flash's channel because he's doing some great stuff. He's live streaming like almost every single night. His subscriber count is climbing. So make sure you subscribe to my boy, Chris the Flash. And make sure you subscribe to us. If you're not subscribed to the Pinstripe Chronicles, what are you doing? We're closing in on 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get to that big 1K. We're at 978 right now, so somebody just subbed up, and I appreciate you. We're trying to get to 1K. Do it for me. Do it for Tats. Do it for Donald. Do it for Lynn. Do it for Sierra. Do it for everybody here, part of this family. We are building something great here, and I am so proud of the work that everybody has done. The ladies will be live tomorrow afternoon or morning at 11 as well, Sierra and Lynn. Probably talking about the signing and what else the Yankees have done this offseason. Let's see. Donnie is saying, imagine both Arenado and Goldie, just like in St. Louis. That could become a reality, Donnie. There is a lot of rumblings about Arenado wanting to go where Goldschmidt goes. He has all the power. Yeah, no problem, Chris, and I appreciate that, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great stuff over there. Lou is saying, would you rather have had Santana? My personal preference, if we went with the older one-year stopgap, was Santana. I just feel like he's the better player right now going off of last year. Switch hitter, better defense, and a good bat. But I understand that the Yankees, like Goldschmidt, he has a connection with Aaron Judge. Look, Judge is going to have some power whether people like it or not. Yeah, join the Pinstripe fam. Lots of fun. Almost at that 1K, guys. We're almost there. So whoever comes in, we're at 979 now. I'm going to keep refreshing, keep seeing if we can hit that 1K today or tomorrow. That would be fantastic. If you do it while the ladies are live, that would be great. But yeah, just anyone else who's coming in, just let me know your opinions on the chat. If you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube. If you want to comment on X, we got a bunch of people watching on both platforms. So put your comments in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, like Donnie says, like Uncle Tats would say. You respect the Tats. We know that came from Donnie. But let's take a look at. Let's just go down. Talking Yanks put out article, a graphic here about the projected Yankee lineup, and you guys let me know what you think of this. Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm, Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, Austin Wells, Jason Dominguez, Oswaldo Cabrera. They have Cabrera at third. What do you guys think about that lineup? I personally don't want Volpe leading off. That's still an issue the Yankees have to settle. Who's the leadoff hitter? Because I don't think they have one right now. If they get Arenado, maybe they can put Jazz at the leadoff spot, but they got to have speed and contact, and Volpe hasn't really shown the contact ability. I'm not too crazy about that lineup there. Brad says Volpe at 9, Jazz leading off. Yeah, Lou says we did the Volpe trial. It was a bust. Unfortunately, it was. Donnie says Jazz leading off. Li from X. I like the Goldie move because it's thinking long and short term. Yeah, definitely short term, that's for sure. But the long term is that they're going to go after a first baseman next year, whether it be Murakami or Vlad, or it's Tucker and they have Bellinger for another year. So options are still open for the Yankees. It does help them this year because they did upgrade. I know he's old. I know he's regressing from what he was just a couple of years ago. Even last year, 2023 was a much better year for Goldschmidt, but it's an upgrade no matter how you look at it. So I agree with Li on that one. One of the few times I will agree with him, but I do agree with him. It does help us in the long and short term. Because had they locked themselves up to 3 or 4, maybe even more years to a guy like Walker or Alonso, you're kind of putting yourself out of that race next year, but we still want to be able to win. And Goldschmidt is probably the best. Goldschmidt and Santana would have been the best one-year options. That's really it. And I don't know about Ben Rice because I feel like now, and I'm going to get to the Trevino trade in just a moment, I feel like now the Yankees need Ben Rice to be the backup catcher, an emergency first baseman if needed. DJ LeMahieu's not going anywhere. He'll probably be that utility guy off the bench, so they can use DJ behind Goldschmidt at first, and it'd be a super veteran first base depth chart for the Yankees. But I'm not too sure what they're going to do about Ben Rice. Is Cashman just talking him up to trade him? Is he involved in a potential Arenado trade? Cardinals don't have a first baseman right now, at least I don't think. So we'll see what they do there. But yeah, guys, Paul Goldschmidt's a New York Yankee. If this was like 5 years ago, I'd be jumping for joy. But right now, it's just kind of like an upgrade. It's an upgrade. We'll see what's next, though. We'll see what's next. But before we do get into that, let's talk about that trade from yesterday, because the Yankees did, late last night, trade Jose Trevino for a bullpen arm, Fernando Cruz, and a backup catcher, Alex Jackson. Jackson's not good. Okay, so we got, let's see, Cardinals are moving Wilson Contreras to first. They kind of need a catcher. Okay, they do need a catcher. Does Ben Rice fit what they're looking for behind the plate? That'd be interesting. We'll see. Let's see what John is saying. John Stryka. Too cheap to sign Walker and sign a consolation prize. That's kind of what I was expecting to see a lot of, because, look, I liked Christian Walker a lot. I was warming up to the idea. I was like, he's not going to sign for too much money, and he got $20 million. I mean, the Yankees could have absolutely given that to him, but they're so reluctant to give up international money and draft picks, and that's kind of an issue. They don't They're going to promote Herrera to catcher to play. Okay, so they still are they looking for like young bats or arms? You can let me know. If you're a Cardinals fan, let me know. That'd be great because I'm trying to get an idea of what they're looking for in trades because I'm not too keen on what their roster looks like. I'm not going to say trade us Brendan Donovan or anything. I'm talking more along the lines of Arenado and maybe a lefty arm in the bullpen because I do love John King and JoJo Romero. I would love to get. Cardinals are on a rebuild, yeah. So if they're willing to move one of those lefty arms and Arenado is part of that trade, I think I'd sign up for that. We do need a lefty. However, let's talk about Fernando Cruz because this dude strikes out everybody, yet his numbers are not the greatest. However, we needed strikeouts in our bullpen, and that dude's splitter is unbelievably good. It's like apparently one of the best pitches in baseball. I don't know how the Yankees were able to get that kind of an arm for 1 year of Jose Trevino, but this could be another one of those Brian Cashman ninja moves, these masterclass moves where he gets a sneaky good arm. I know he's 34, but he's barely pitched in the major leagues. Could this be one of those crazy good moves like Luke Weaver that turns into gold? Could it be the next Michael Tonkin? Could it be the next Jake Cousins? Or is it going to be a Enil De Los Santos who has the high strikeout rate but flat out stinks? It's a wait and see, but he could absolutely be the seventh inning guy to give the ball to Weaver and then give the ball to Devin Williams. There's a potential there for one of the best 7-8-9s we've had probably since Miller or Betances, Miller, and Chapman back in 2016. So I love this trade. We cleared up some money that we obviously used to go get Paul Goldschmidt, and we're still under the 301 by very few dollars, like $3 million, I think. We're under that mark right now on the luxury tax payroll. So I would assume a Stroman trade is next, but this back end of the bullpen, guys, has the potential to be scary. And I am very happy that the Yankees are finally prioritizing strikeouts in this bullpen. Devin Williams and now Fernando Cruz. They still have Mark Leiter. They're finally prioritizing the strikeouts because they were one of the worst teams in getting strikeouts from their bullpen. Now they've got some strikeouts. And yeah, Brad, his command is certainly an issue, but if they can get that command to a good amount, if they can get that command right, he's going to strike out a ton of batters, and that is perfect for the back end of the bullpen. Give me 1 second so I don't have to cough on camera. It's on my microphone. John's saying, when do you think Arenado will happen? I don't know. Could be today. Could be tomorrow. Could never happen, actually. It's more speculation on some reporters. There's been some reports that he would approve a trade to whoever signs Paul Goldschmidt. So it just seems almost inevitable at this point that they're going to get Arenado because he wants to go to a team that's trying to win. He already blocked the trade to the Astros. The Dodgers don't really need a third baseman. The Mets could be enticing to him, but they have Vientos, and they're probably going to bring back Alonso, so I don't know where they're going to play all these different guys. There's really not that many teams that are in it to win it that need a third baseman. The Yankees technically don't need one, but if they got one, they can move Jazz back to his natural position of second base. That's why I think the Yankees and Cardinals match up, because also the Cardinals are willing to eat some money. Feinsand said that they were willing to pay like 15 or 20 million, something like that, 15 to 20 million dollars, what's left on the Arenado deal. The Yankees could end up getting him for like, what would that be, like $15 million on the payroll this year. Again, that's just a little bit more than it probably cost you to get Alonso or Bregman even. Maybe a little bit less. Who knows how much those guys are going to sign for. So everything's a wait and see game for now, but I'm warming up to the idea of Arenado and Goldschmidt because it makes our defense really good. And those are two, even though they're veterans and they're older, Arenado's 33, you'd be paying a far less amount of money for 3 years of Arenado than you would be for 3 years of Christian Walker. So if there's any sort of consolation there, although I am holding out hope, if they get Arenado, can they get a lefty along with him? That would be fantastic. Lou, the Rockies are still paying some of his money and some of it's deferred. And if the Cardinals are willing to pay like 15 to 20 million on what's left of his deal, that could make right now it's like you're basically getting him for 3 years, 60 million. And if the Cardinals eat some of that money, it could be like 15 million a year. So that could entice the Yankees. Similar to what happened with Bellinger, it's like we're not going to have to give up much to get Arenado. And no problem, Graham. Good to see you in the chat. Let's see what else we got going on here. Donnie's saying Jazz can play the outfield. I'd avoid that at all costs. I'd expect Grisham and Stroman to be traded, possibly a reliever or two that earn a little more than the others. Not the air. Yeah, they're not going to trade. No way would they trade Devin Williams. Maybe Mark Leiter. He is making about $2 million. Outside of Williams, though, everyone on their bullpen is very cheap. But we do have kind of a surplus now with the addition of Cruz, so maybe they could move some of those guys. We'll see what did the Cardinals need more relief pitching? Probably not. Their bullpen's actually one of their stronger. At least they have a bunch of lefties. That's what I do know. Donnie's saying Arenado and Helsley, that's going to take a haul. Helsley's really good, and they're going to get a lot for that guy. Let's see what we got. Graham, I can't see Arenado. That contract won't age well. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's similar to they're looking for young starting pitching. Well, the Yankees have some of that. Would you like a Will Warren? Would you be interested in a Will Warren, my friend? Maybe a Tristan Vreeling? I don't think it would take a Clark Schmidt, not if the Cardinals are trying to move that contract of Arenado, but the Yankees do have a lot of younger arms that are close to Major League ready. So maybe they match up well. The Cardinals just want to dump money. Yeah, and the Yankees apparently offered them Stroman, and they said no. They don't want to take on contracts, and I don't blame them. But I do think they can still move Marcus Stroman, because at $15 million? Yeah, if you're paying him $15 million, I don't think I'd be too upset about adding Arenado. Again, the whole focus seems to be run prevention. Their defense in the outfield is now better than it's been in a long time, with Bellinger added. Hopefully Dominguez can play well in left, and Judge back in right field. And if the infield is now Goldschmidt, Jazz, Volpe, Arenado, for now it's not Arenado, but if they got him with Wells behind the plate, that's arguably one of the best defenses the Yankees have had since 2009. So it's hard to say that they're not going to be a better defensive team, plus the pitching's really good. That's run prevention right there. So that seems to be the way they're going. Graham says we need a lefty bat. Right now we have technically 4. Jazz, Wells, Bellinger, and Dominguez being a switch hitter would make it 4. So that's kind of how they like to balance things. 5 righties, 4 lefties. I would love to get another lefty bat. That's why I like Santana as an option, because he would, being a switch hitter, go obviously both sides of the plate. It helps with the balance of the lineup. You can put him anywhere, really. Wouldn't have to matter if you're facing a lefty or a righty. However, Goldschmidt's been really good against left-handed pitching. So that's one thing the Yankees could not hit last year. Remember, they couldn't hit lefties to save their lives, besides, of course, like 2 players in that lineup. So if this guy can hit lefties when Goldschmidt can, I'm going to take it. I want to see what he's projected to do. Steamer has Goldschmidt's projections at 251, 327, 426 stat line with a 111 weighted runs created plus. It's an upgrade. Would you guys want Lars Nootbaar? I've heard his name brought up a lot about from Yankees fans. I don't know where he would play though for the Yankees, because I'm pretty sure he's simply an outfielder, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where he would factor in now that we have a first baseman. I'm not too sure. Brendan Donovan is a lefty. Yeah, but it's going to take a haul to get him. It would take a lot to get Brendan Donovan. The Cardinals should not trade him. I'll tell you that. He's that good of a player. Unless they are like desperate to get back prospects, I'd hold on to him. Can't see them looking at any out. Yeah, the outfield is pretty much complete, Graham. That's why I'm not too sure about Nootbaar. But Donovan I would love to get. I just think it's going to take too much to get him. What are we doing with Peraza? He has no options left. I think he's either going to be utility or he's going to be part of a trade. I mean, if the Cardinals are going to trade Arenado, would they take Peraza to play third? There's a question for my new Cardinals friend here. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. Obviously, there's no like actual rumors saying that they're going to go and make a deal. But it's just that Feinsand put out that article, and Brian Hoke mentioned it again like 20 minutes ago. It just seems like there's almost the writing on the wall. BC, what's going on? Good to see you. We got Goldschmidt. And the Yankees got their first baseman. What's up, Stevie B? Good to see you in the chat. We got 150 people here between X and YouTube. So, once again, it's that time for me to bring it up. Guys, come over to YouTube. Hit that sub button. Hit that like button. Do your boy a favor. Do your boys on this channel a favor. We're 21 subs away from the big 1K. So if you have not subbed on to the Pinstripe Chronicles, come on over. Hit that sub button. Get us to 1K. And if you want to member up and join the family, that is an option as well. We've got some big stuff coming for our members. We're so excited for what's to come. It's been a hell of an off season for this channel. All the new people that have joined. And it's been great to see so many new faces in the chat and talk some baseball. Whether you're a Cardinals fan, whether you're a Dodgers fan, we've had some Mets fans come in here and poke fun at us for the Soto stuff. It's been a lot of fun. We got Cardinals are not trading Donovan. I don't think they would. I don't think they should. To be perfectly honest. They plan to put Gorman at third. Yeah, I like Gorman. I do like Nolan Gorman. He'd be a good player for the Yankees, but I don't want to get greedy here. I don't think we're gonna go get all these different players from one team. I would think Arenado and one of those lefties. That's what I think that they're gonna end up doing. Again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. Graham saying we have not spent any prospects yet. We could offer a fair package for Donovan. We could, but do the Yankees want to? That's the question. It's not my decision. Because I would go get him right now. Trust me, that's how much I liked Brendan Donovan. I like Brendan Donovan. I've been talking about him for a few years on this channel now. Get them likes up, like Stevie B said. What's up, Ken? Sports Illustrated reported 4 days ago that the trade for the Mariners, I'm assuming the Cardinals and Mariners, the deal involved Donovan and Castillo. So the Cardinals are willing to move him. Maybe for the right player. It would probably take Luis Heel or Clark Schmidt. Now, if the Yankees had Roki Sasaki signed, I'd be more than willing to trade Clark Schmidt or even Luis Heel to get a Brendan Donovan type. But I don't know if they're going to go. Maybe they circle back to it when Sasaki signs, but you can't put all their eggs in the Sasaki basket if they you can't assume you're going to get him. But I don't know. I don't know what the Cardinals, if they're going full rebuild, why would they trade Donovan for Castillo? That's interesting. Might open up a window to get Tanner Scott. Boy, I would love to get Tanner Scott. I don't think the Yankees have the money for it. I know they're the Yankees. They can get whoever they want. But I don't think they want to go over 300. And right now, they're right at that number, so they have to trade Stroman and or Trent Grisham if they're going to add another infielder. As a Cards fan, Brendan Donovan definitely would profile well as a Yankee. I mean, he profile well anywhere, let's be honest. That dude can hit, he can field, he's under team control. I love that player. Like, I would take him on this team in a heartbeat. But I agree, I think they want to keep Brendan Donovan. What's up, NFE? My dude, NFE in the chat. Good to see you. NFE, let me know what you think about this Goldschmidt signing. And hey, I know you've got access to the thing, so if you want to pop in, talk some Yankees with me, by all means, join. Let's see what we got coming from Stevie B. Our farm system is about 18th in baseball right now. We have I think we have the players. Like, they need starting pitching. Clark Schmidt would be ideal. They can get even like a Chase Hampton maybe, or a Will Warren, like a 2 or 3 starting pitchers. Those are the kind of deals the Yankees excel at. They draft pitchers, they develop them, and they end up flipping them for outfielders or for bats. Like last year, they gave away 6 or 7 pitchers for Verdugo and Soto. This year, they haven't really had to trade anybody significant. So He said, send me the link. He's driving. All right, well, if you're driving, be safe. Just let me know if you're back home safe. I don't want you to be distracted. It's not that serious, NFE. Stay safe on the road. We appreciate you popping in, though. Andre BX, good signing until we sign Naylor or Vladdy next offseason. That's right. Naylor's a free agent, too. I keep forgetting about that. Now, Josh Naylor is going to be a free agent. Yeah, stay safe, NFE. We don't need you distracted while driving. Let's see. I saw a report that the Mets are going to spend a lot of international money on Pena. If true, they ain't getting Sasaki. I don't think anyone really besides the Dodgers is going to have Sasaki. I've been saying that since day one. I don't see him going anywhere else. But anything can happen. If there's a world where the Yankees can get Roki Sasaki, please take me there. I want to live in that world. Ken saying Donovan has massive versatility. Oh, yeah. Look, if the Yankees can get Brendan Donovan, I'd be more than willing to take Arenado. I know Ken said that as well. He said if we're able to get Brendan Donovan, he'd be willing to take Arenado, and I can't agree with him more there. I just don't think the Cardinals are going to trade him unless they're blown away. And if he drives a Fred Flintstone-style car. Jesus Christ. A Fred Flintstone-style car. Right out of the town of Bedrock. All right, let's just keep the conversation going. 152 people. It's great that so many people are joining. I know football's on right now. I couldn't care less. The Giants stink. I don't even know what's going on in the NFL anymore. But it's good to see a good number of people watching. The Cardinals are not dumb. They're not. I wish they were, because then I would love to get Brendan Donovan, but they're not a dumb organization. They have a lot of good trade pieces. They can get a lot for Helsley. They can get a lot for the hell's Donovan. We've been talking about him. And they could probably get at least salary relief with Arenado, which is why they're willing to pay a decent amount of his contract that's already kind of paid down. And Donnie, I couldn't care less about the Cowboys. Screw them. I'm glad they're doing bad. But if we take Arenado and get Donovan, and who is on the block? That's a good point, because that would mean they'd have to trade. That's why I don't think they're going to get Donovan, because their infield is already full now, technically. If they get Arenado, Jazz is playing second, unless they made Jazz available. But I don't know. How do we get rid of Stroman? They tried to trade him for Arenado. The Cardinals said no. They could still move him, though. The Athletics are trying to add salary. Pitching is a premium every offseason. Pitchers are getting paid at a ridiculous amount of money right now. I think some team would be willing to take Marcus Stroman. The Yankees might have to pay a little bit of that money, but I think there's a way to move him. They don't have to, but they probably should if they're serious about staying under 301 and getting another infielder. Kind of have to move him. Jazz would have to be traded. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they want to trade Jazz. Jazz can be a 30 home run guy playing in Yankee Stadium. I really like Jazz Chisholm this year. I think a lot of people are forgetting that he hit like 12 home runs in 40 games for us last year. He's got the potential to be a 30 home run guy. Our GM has been outsmarted on trades before. We gave up a Rosarena, Alcantara, and Zach Gallen for peanuts. Hey, I hope for your sake that he's not stupid. But if he wants to be stupid at least one more time, we would gladly take Brendan Donovan on the Yankees. Or Ryan Helsley. I ain't going to say no about Ryan Helsley. I just don't think that the Yankees are going to get another big bullpen arm. I think they're done with the bullpen unless they get lefties. That's why I would love John King and or Jojo Romero. We can get one of those two, I'd be thrilled. Bring one of those two with Arenado, and I'd sign up for that trade in a heartbeat. Let's see. Giants might take Stroman. And we got draft picks and international money back. For who? For the Soto signing? Talk about the Soto signing? I mean, I don't know what they got. I think they got like a comp pick back. It's so weird. I think the qualifying offer is stupid, first of all, because you're penalizing teams for wanting to spend. I get it. You want to give the teams that are losing that player something, but why do the teams that are signing them have to be penalized? Is that catcher we got from the Reds any good? Jackson? No. He's a terrible bat, and he's like a good pitch framer. He's basically another Trevino with a terrible bat. Actually, I would say Trevino's better defensively, but he's a backup. I don't think it really matters that much. I like that they're going to give Austin Wells pretty much the full reins. Is that confirmed, Brad? Because I've been seeing a lot of that, and I haven't seen any confirmation. I hope it's not true. I really hope that's not true about Ricky, because I've been seeing it all over, and I don't want to say it until I know for a fact that it's true, because I haven't... Oh, yep, the Post just reported, huh? Shit. That's heartbreaking, guys. We lost a legend, Ricky Henderson. That sucks, man. So rest in peace to the legend, former Yankee, former Met, former Athletic, all around hell of a player, Hall of Famer. So rest in peace, Ricky. We lost a damn legend in our sport. That's a heartbreaker. I didn't want to believe it was true. That dude was special, man. 65. Yeah, 65, Ken. He's young. That's a damn shame. Rest in peace, Ricky. That sucks. Baseball lost a true legend. Oh, man. It's heartbreaking news right now on what's supposed to be a good day for talking some baseball, but we can't not talk about the legend that was Ricky Henderson. So, once again, rest in peace to the legend. All the best wishes to his family and friends, because that sucks. That really does suck. I didn't want to believe it. I really did not want to believe it. Rest in peace, Ricky Henderson. Yes, Susan, thank you for that comment. Let's try to get back to the Yankees here. Try to stay upbeat a little bit. Not talk about this unfortunate news that we just got hit with. John saying, will the Yankees make another trade? I would assume so. I don't think they're done. It might not be anything significant, but I wouldn't expect a huge move. I think Arenado would probably be the most likely thing they do. It's if anything, and they get another bullpen arm like a lefty. Still don't have one. Still don't have a freaking lefty in this bullpen, so it'd be nice to get something from the left side. Probably Tim Hill, and that's why I really like those Cardinals lefties, because they're cheap and they're good. Romero and King would be ideal in this Yankee bullpen. Let's see, will you ever see another base deal like him again? Probably not. He would absolutely... Imagine he was playing with these big-ass bases now. He'd have 170. He'd probably have 200 stolen bases. He's an absolute monster on the base pads, and baseball's going to miss him. The Cards person might know better, but don't many of the more desirable Cards players have no trades in their contracts? I know Arenado's one of them. I don't think any of the relief pitchers do, because all those guys are still in arbitration. I don't know if they have no trade clauses, but I would hope not. But Arenado, apparently, there's the rumors that he would approve a trade to the team that signed Goldschmidt. So, there's that. That's why I have a feeling it's going to happen. I was texting Donald last night about it. We're both like, no, I don't want this. I don't want Goldschmidt and Arenado. But it just almost seems like the fact that 12 hours later, Goldschmidt's a Yankee, it just feels like it's happening. Maybe I'm wrong. Kind of hoping I'm wrong, but I would say it's, in my opinion, it's probably like 60-40 that we do get him. Cashman's likely working the phones now. I would hope so. There's still more work to be done. If he can get these things done before the new year, that'd be great. But I would think if they do Arenado, it's going to be before Christmas, or could be a couple of weeks after that. I think the Arenado situation is like the Stanton situation, where he only wanted to be a Yankee. Well, he had a very limited list of teams. He rejected 2 trades to the Giants and the Cardinals that year. It was the Yankees, Cubs, Astros, and why am I blanking on the last team? Dodgers. Those are the 4 teams that he would have approved the trade to. And the Yankees got him for nothing, by the way. The Yankees got him for absolute pennies. Or peanuts, I should. We gave up nothing. Starlin, Castro, and 2 prospects. That's a trade you make every day of the week. Let's see. Cards, young guys don't have no trades. Okay. Well, I don't want Sonny Gray. I would think they're going to go after Arenado. That's about it. Probably. And Miles Mikolas, who no one wants. Yeah. That's a shit. I mean, I like the Cardinals. I have no hate for the St. Louis Cardinals. I love that organization. They got a hell of a fan base. They're very passionate. They want to see their team win. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done. When they brought in Arenado and Goldschmidt, I'm like, that team's going to be a force. They just couldn't get the job done. It reminds me of the Yankees. Like, it's a team that has a lot of money. They got players. You expect them to go out and win, and they just couldn't get the job done. It's a shame. I like that team, and I do hope that their rebuild goes smooth and they can get back to winning, because I think the NL Central is wide open for a little while now. But the Cubs are going for it. The Brewers are always a threat, and the Pirates and the Reds, they're building something over there. So I hope the Cardinals rebuild goes smooth and it goes kind of quickly. Let's see. Won't we offload Stroman before any... Yeah, that's why I think... Then again, they could say screw it and just go over the tax for this year, because they could still trade Stroman after they get Arenado. The tax penalties don't kick in until after the season. So it's not like they have to get under it before opening day. It's the end of the season. That's where your taxes are. That's why we're finding out right now how much money teams are paying. It's after the season. So the Yankees can get Arenado 5 minutes from now, for all we know, and then before the new year or before spring training, they could trade Stroman. Next thing you know, they're under 301 again. So they don't really have to do it yet, but it would make sense to try to move Stroman, especially if you do go get Nolan Arenado. Thing I like about the Goldschmidt signing is that Goldie smacks the crap. Yep, look, I wasn't high on it, but like the more I'm seeing his numbers from the second half and the fact that we had no production at first base, I'm liking the move. I'm actually really liking the move. For $12.5 million, I'm glad it wasn't a 2-year deal, and I thought he was going to get a little bit more, so I'll take it. We didn't go all in after we got Nato and Goldie, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I thought the Sonny Gray signing was supposed to be like their big pitching move. It just nothing really worked out for them. They have the players, I felt like, to make a run and win that division almost every year. Fortunately, just never came to pass for them. So I hope your rebuild goes smoothly. The Yankees were going to spend... Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're going to go spend that much on free agents. Again, the AAV is what you're looking at here. They've already added more with the guys they've signed, I think. Because Bellinger's getting like 20... Is it 25 because of what the Cubs are paying? You got 12.5 for Goldschmidt. It's like 14, I think, for Fried. You add the money for Williams kind of cancels out. So they spent... I don't know. My math is not good. They're right around the same number, I think, or a little bit less than what it would have cost them to get Soto. And they can still do more. DJ's grand slam was the last home run from a first baseman this season. That is terrible. I think the payroll, the luxury tax payroll, has them like close to 300. I'm looking at Fangraphs. I don't know which one I'm supposed to be looking at. Like the actual payroll is still like 281 or 279, but the luxury tax payroll is at 298. So I think that's what the Yankees might be looking at, is staying under that luxury tax. Yankees had money coming off the book. Yeah, that's why they were able to make these moves. Yeah, so right under what they would have had to give to Soto. And now you add the $12.5 million. They've added 4 players for the price of 1, which I didn't think was possible, but maybe not Goldschmidt being one of the best players, but they got a closer, they got a center fielder, they got a first baseman, and a starter for the price of 1 guy. Or a little bit more than the price of 1 guy. I think you sign up for that. See what we got. I think Grisham will be moved, and the catcher we just got is a flip chip. He isn't making our backup. That's Escara. Yeah, JC Escara could make that. It could be Ben Rice for all we know, but do they want to go 2 lefties? Rodriguez was put on the 40-man roster, but I don't think he's going to be part of the factor next year. Part of the team next year. Not yet, at least. They could use this kid. They can use this Jackson guy as the pure backup, or they can go with Escara. So we'll see. But maybe they flip him. Maybe they use him the same way they used Workvet. They traded Workvet for was it a 3-team trade? I think we got Birdie and then we flipped Workvet. I don't know. I think he's going to compete for that backup job, but he probably has options. They can stash him in AAA. The Mets only got Soto for now. But I think they're going to get Alonso back, and they're probably going to add another starting pitcher. Mr. Drunk, what's up? How about the Yankees trade for Correa to play third base? That's interesting. Would the Twins be willing to take Marcus Stroman back? Because I like Correa. I wanted Correa a couple of years ago when he was a free agent. Then there was all that talk that he could move to third base. I love Carlos Correa. So I certainly wouldn't be opposed to that. I want to see what he did last season. Has he been healthy, though? Because I know he's been dealing with some injuries. Last year, he was near a 4-WAR player. He only played 86 games, so the injuries have kind of been an issue for him. And yeah, that contract's a little bit sketchy right now, but if he was healthy, I'd probably sign up for that. But he is coming off an injury-plagued season. I really like Correa, though. His feet are falling off, says Graham. Yeah, let's see what we got from Andre. I heard the Mets were looking to sign Vladdy. Look, they can get whoever the hell they want, Andre. If they want to wait for Vladdy, they could. They could sign Alonso and DH him next year if they really wanted to. Steve Cohen's got an unlimited amount of money. But they should go after Vladdy. But I have a hard time seeing Pete Alonso play anywhere but the Mets. I feel like he's a Met. He's got to be a Met for life. He's like, they need to have another career Met. Tats has been saying that. I can't see him in another uniform. Although it'd be pretty interesting to see if he went somewhere else, because I thought Houston would have been a great fit for him. But now they got Christian Walker. Maybe Arizona goes after Alonso now, because they need a first baseman. Seattle, who is not spending any money, they need help everywhere. If Vladdy's going to the Mets, I can see it. That's the thing. I think Vladdy's going to the Mets. I would love for him to be a Yankee, but I don't see him going anywhere but either staying with Toronto or the Red Sox even I can see making a play, but the Mets are going to blow him away with an offer. I think that's almost a guarantee, but anything can happen. We already got DJ minus a foot. Do we need another one? Yeah, and if you put their bad feet together, you can create one good player, maybe. I don't think they're going to go after Correa, though. I like Correa. I just think the time to get him was 2 years ago. I don't think they're going to make a significant addition at this point. Arenado wouldn't be considered a significant add because if the Cardinals are going to pay some of that contract, it's almost like spending less than you would have. There's a good chance that Arenado and Goldschmidt would be less than, what the hell's his name, Alonso, or Bregman. Wouldn't be less than Walker, but it would be less than those other two. Jose saying, hell no, Vladdy as a Yankee. I don't see it. I don't want to see a Soto deal happen again. You don't want the Mets to give? Do you not want the Mets to give Vladdy a Soto-like deal? I don't think he's going to get $750 or $760, whatever the hell they paid him, but I don't know. I don't think the Yankees are going to pay him that much either. I think the Yankees are going to go after Murakami next year. Or Tucker. But I would love Vladdy. Don't get me wrong. I love Vladdy. If there's a world where the Yankees can have Vladimir Guerrero Jr., put me there. Because I love that player. I don't care about his defense if he can hit an 800 plus OPS and hit 40 bombs in Yankee Stadium. Trust me, I don't care about your defense if you can do all that stuff. Kyle Tucker would be ideal because he can do both. He can play great defense and he can hit 40, 50 bombs. Mariners don't have the money to get Alonso. Anything they'll do, it'll be trade-wise, and only if they can get someone to take Castillo. He's got a no-trade clause as well, I think. No trade clauses are proving to be costly for these teams because they cannot move these guys. No Vladdy as a Yankee. We don't want to see what happened with us trying to get Soto. So you don't want the Yankees to get beat in the contract negotiation? I don't think they're going to go get him. I would love for the Yankees to go get him. I don't think they're going to pursue him. I think if they're going to go after anyone next year, it's going to be Murakami or Tucker. I'm just saying I would love for him to be a Yankee. Yankees were in on Tucker trade but didn't want to give up Heel or Lombard. I don't blame them. Lombard's probably their best bet to be like a top prospect right now. The kid's killing it in the minor leagues. So the Yankees need someone to step up in that system to kind of take over that top prospect spot because Spencer Jones' value has plummeted. I try to tell people that. I still like Spencer Jones, but his value dropped tremendously from where it was a year ago to what it is now. Last year, you could have gotten Dylan Cease for Spencer Jones. Now you'd have to give up a lot more, along with Spencer Jones, to get a Dylan Cease. Any news on a third baseman? That's what we've been talking about, Jose. It could be Arenado. They could keep Jazz there and go with the cheap option at second. But right now, we don't have a second baseman. We technically have a third baseman. We don't have a second baseman. Oh, I think he's talking about a trade. It's the strikeout rate, Andre. He did have a strong second half, but if you look at Baseball America, he went from like our top prospect to like our 7th or 8th. It's that strikeout rate. If you're striking out that high of a rate in Double-A, it's going to get recognized by scouts. Because if you're striking out against Double-A pitching, what do you think is going to happen when you get here? I'm not saying I'm souring on the kid. I still love Spencer Jones. I think he's got all the potential in the world. I can't stress that enough. But his value has dropped. Baseball America you want to look at Baseball America. When you're talking about prospects, you want to go there. You can look at Pipeline, but Baseball America is pretty darn good with the way they evaluate prospects. And he went from like 1, I think he was 2. He was either 1 or 2 in Baseball America last year. Now he's like 7th or 8th. So I'm just saying, the teams are looking at that strikeout rate. I know strikeouts are not really something that gets looked at the major league level, but you still want to see if a kid is able to improve on that, because if he's struggling there, he's going to get eaten alive up here in the major leagues. That's just unfortunate, but that's what teams are going to look at. I still think he's going to be a good player, but he needs to improve the strikeout rate, and then he can be a really good player. But because of that, his value has dropped. Why not put Jazz on second and get a third baseman? That's why we've been talking about if the Yankees now go get Arenado, because Goldschmidt's a Yankee. They might want Arenado. I'm not sure if they're going to do it. I'm not saying there's any confirmation about that, but they could do it. Lombard is now the golden child in the system. Seems to be. They don't want to trade him. They don't want to trade him for anybody. They didn't want to trade him for Kyle Tucker. They might not want to trade him for another first baseman. That's probably why they went with Goldschmidt. I would assume they were trying to get a first baseman via trade, because Nate Lowe was available, so was Yandy Diaz. But they went with Goldschmidt because he cost them no prospects, he cost them no picks, he cost them no international money, and only $12.5 million, which is slightly above what Yandy Diaz was going to make. Hopefully they wouldn't prospect hug Lombard. Well, you have to keep some of these kids. You don't trade every one of them. You have to keep some of them. They got to choose between Lombard and Arias, really. Because Volpe's not going anywhere. And Jazz right now, we have him for 2 more years? So ideally, Lombard and Arias turn into really good players, and they continue to get better and develop, and they're the future somewhere in the infield. Whether it be at third and second or, third and second, because I don't see them moving Volpe. Unless Arias forces them to move Volpe. Volpe's not moving anywhere yet until Arias is ready. But yeah, guys, let's see what else we got from Jose. It would be nice if Ramirez from Cleveland is a free agent. Yeah, look, J-Ram, every year before he signed that extension, I was like, can the Yankees go trade for him? But Cleveland wisely held on to him. That dude is insane. I love Jose Ramirez. If he was available, I would be all in on the Yankees getting him. It's kind of smart. So if we do need to trade at the deadline, we have the chips. You hold on to your prospect. We haven't traded anybody, really. Durbin's the only prospect we've given up. We haven't traded any prospects yet, so they probably might have to give up something to get Arenado, but I don't think it would be a crazy haul to give up to get Arenado. Cashman should trade for Machado. Woof, would they take on that contract? I don't know, TC. I love Manny Machado, but do the Yankees want to take on that kind of... Arenado is a 3-year commitment. Machado is another 10? I don't know if the Yankees want to go that route. Let's see what LI is saying here via X. I think the Yankees are planning to have Jazz and Nolan be stopgaps for Arias. Yeah, they could be going that way. Because they love Arias and they love Lombard. That could be what they're doing. That could, and it lines up. It does line up. Brazil, let's go. We got another old-ass declining first base. Hey, it's an upgrade from Rizzo. And if that's where our expectations are, then, hey, it is an upgrade. The Guards fan base will burn the place to the ground if they move J-Ram. Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, TC, I don't think they're going to take Machado. I love the time to get him was, 5 years ago? Kind of like Correa, I think the time has passed to go get him. I don't think the Yankees would take him at this point anyway. It is an upgrade, Razil, but probably not the upgrade we wanted. But for 1 year, I don't think we can be too picky there. We didn't have a first baseman, guys. We did not have one. So now we have one, and it's really about figuring out what they want to do with Jazz. Put him at second or put him at third. If you put him at third, go get a second baseman. If you put him at second, then I think Arenado's a Yankee. It's a year. He serves the purpose. Yeah. Goldie will be fine. Goldie will be good. I think if he hits what he did last year, then that's better than anyone we put at first base combined last season. And that's just a fact. Plus his defense should be better as well. He's a Gold Glove caliber defender still. He was pretty good last year. Not as good as before, but serviceable. Lou's spot on, says Graham. He is. Lou's spot on about that. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. But guys, let me know what you think. Just overall thoughts about what could be next. Do you like the Trevino trade? I love it. But what do you think is next for the Yankees? We got a few minutes left here before I wrap it up on this Saturday afternoon. Right? He might do Rice. Yeah, that's a good point, Graham. If they are high on Ben Rice, having Goldschmidt there could really help him out. We'll see, though. We'll see how high they are on Ben Rice if they can get Tucker next year and move Bellinger to first. I think Ben Rice could be a guy that you move. But we'll see. What about Yohan Moncada? Would be a very cheap option, but he's also got the health concerns too. The guy hasn't stayed healthy for years. Ever since the Red Sox got him way back in the day. Donnie says Cruz is going to be... I think Cruz is going to be really fun to watch. That splitter is filthy. That strikeout rate is disgusting. And meet Matt Blake. That's all I got to say about that. Next will be a trade for a second or third baseman involving Stroman. Who do you think that would be, though, TC? What team would be taking Stroman and giving us a second baseman? Because I'm trying to think of who we can trade with that has one of those players available. Ideally, the Cardinals would take Stroman back, but they don't want to take on salary. That's why they're trying to eat money to get rid of Nolan Arenado. Graham says it's probably the Arenado move. He's got a feeling. I've had a feeling about that since the second I saw that article yesterday. It's like, why are they talking about this? Because once Curry brought up Goldschmidt's name, then that rumor came out. I'm like, it just seems like the writing's on the wall. Maybe the Cubs for Horner. Just make another trade with them. That's fine. I would love Nico Horner, but they don't want Marcus Stroman back. No way they want Marcus Stroman back because they would have took him for Bellinger. And Matt Blake we trust. We sure do. He couldn't get it done with De Los Santos, but for the most part, he's done a fantastic job with these pitchers we bring in. Every time the Yankees get a pitcher that nobody knows, and nobody is like, who's this guy? Look at his ERA. Turned out to be a pretty good move. Tonkin, Cousins, Meza to a point. Tim Hill was phenomenal as a Yankee to a point where people want him back now. So Matt Blake, the Matt Blake effect is real, guys. I would trust Matt Blakeson to get this guy's command to a reasonable point to where he could be a real threat. And we got him for 4 years. 4 years of control for a rental catcher. Brian Cashman worked his ninja magic there, man. Kudos to him. He's having a great offseason so far. Josh Young from Texas. I don't know are they willing to move him? I like him. I like Duran as well. I'd take Duran back. Stroman could be moved to the A's, Giants. Yeah, I think the A's are a team that's willing to take on money. I really do. I think Ken, I really like that idea of trading him to the A's. Or if San Francisco doesn't get Corbin Burns, they could get Stroman for a lot less. There's an option there. Let's see, Jose. I don't think no one wants Stroman. Why not add Clark Schmidt? They're not going to trade both because then they don't have a rotation. Because even if they get Sasaki, they might have to go six-man. Some people think. I don't like the idea of a six-man rotation, but if they got Sasaki, it might have to be a six-man rotation. So I don't think they're going to trade Clark Schmidt. Stroman he's almost guaranteed to get traded. It's just a matter of when. Curry sent out the smoke signals on Goldie, and no smoke without fire. Yep. Once he said his name, like he's a Yankee. Because he was putting the Walker stuff away. He was putting the Alonso stuff to the back burner. He's like, they're not going to go sign these guys. Next thing you know, Paul Goldschmidt's a Yankee. So it happened very quickly, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the night, for all we know, Arenado is being talked about as a Yankee. Cash is a great GM. What about Lowe with the Rangers? Nathaniel Lowe? I don't think they're going to put him at third. I don't know. Maybe Brandon Lau from Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay, there's no way they would take Stroman. Luis Arias. I love that guy. I don't know if the Padres would want Stroman. Unless they're trading Cease. That'd be so weird, though. The Padres were so good last year. Why would they try to blow that team up? Like, trading Arias, they lost Kim. They have Bogarts at second right now. I don't know if they have a shortstop. There's talk about them maybe moving Machado. Like, it's weird. What are they doing? What about Luis Arias? That's an option. Rengifo from the Angels could be a guy. The Padres are broke. I thought they made more money because the Soto money they cleared last year was like $30 million, and they added Cease, they added Yuki Matsui in the bullpen, Wandy Peralta in the bullpen. They were crazy, and they got Cease as well. I think I might have said him already, but I don't know what the Padres are doing. That's weird. That's a team that should be in it to win it every single year, but they find a way. They found a way. Michael King was a breakout for them last year. Dylan Cease was outstanding. Their bullpen was solid. They got Tanner Scott. Not anymore, but I don't know what they're doing. That's a strange team. They have all the pieces, in my opinion, to be really, really good. And they go kind of, I don't know about them. They should be trying to compete with the Dodgers because they can beat the Dodgers if they get the right pieces. What if they got Sasaki? That'd be huge. Arias is okay as long as no one hot balls. Yeah, he's not a good defender. He's a great bat, but his defense is suspect. Teams have soured in Burns for a long-term contract because of his declining velo and K rate. His breaking stuff doesn't have the depth it has in the past. My bet is Burns goes back to the Brewers. I mean, they did get Woodruff back, and no one thought that was going to happen. I can see that, Ken. That'd be pretty big for them. I think he's going to either be a Giant or maybe Baltimore makes another push for him. But yeah, it's weird that Burns hasn't signed yet because he was still really good last year. Really good. What about Nick Madrigal? Bringing up a lot of names, Jose. I mean, a lot of different options out there. But I don't know if they trade Stroman for any of these guys. And I think that was like the original question. I do think Arenado seems more likely than a lot of these other names. I would like Rengifo. I would love Nico Horner. I would take Madrigal. I would take a lot of these other different names that have been brought up. But I feel like the Yankees, the writing's on the wall with them getting Arenado now. But maybe I'm wrong. Brad doesn't... Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Yankees payroll is at $300 million. Right around that number on the luxury tax. Right around the number on the luxury tax, TC. Their actual payroll, according to Fangraphs, is like 279. But the luxury tax payroll has them right around 298. So they're right there. They have to trade Stroman. Thank you, Donnie. Good to see you in the chat. Isn't it more that the Padres no longer have the old man with money? Yeah, maybe that is it, but they seem to add, like, you gain revenue. Like, they were selling out. They were a playoff team. They were exciting to watch. They were winning games. no one thought that would really happen without Soto, but they made it work. And I don't know why they would try to trade some of these pieces. Maybe it makes sense to trade Cease and Arias because they're rentals, and you can get something for those players, and they can use that money that they free up to go sign back Ha-Sung Kim or something like that. Maybe they go that route, or maybe they take on Stroman for Arias, but I think that'd be kind of pointless for them because their pitching's already good. It's their offense that needs a little help. I don't know if trading Arias would make sense for them. Thank you, Stevie B. Hey, we got NFE joining here. Let's get NFE on. What's going on, my dude? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? What's going on?
How you feeling about this trade, man? Well, I was going to wrap it up, but hey, you're in here, so we'll stay on for a little bit longer. Why not? It's Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm going to go live later, so everybody tune in. And if you want to jump on later, feel free. But I was going to mention, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but did you guys hear about Ricky Henderson?
Unfortunately, yeah, Brad put it in the chat. I didn't know if it was true, but I did see that news. It's
confirmed. Yeah, so rest in peace to him. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? And make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. You guys are like 20 away from 1,000. Or where's the 20 people at?
They got to be somewhere. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We got 97 people on X. Come on over.
Yeah. Come over to YouTube, man. Subscribe to this channel. Let's get these guys to 1,000. Yeah, you know what? That Paul Goldschmidt signing, you know what? I like it. Because of the fact that, it's a 1-year deal. That's exactly what I wanted the Yankees to do if they were going to pursue a guy like him. I think it was a good deal. He's going to be purely a rental. So, because they are going to attack first base next year, unless they decide, if they get a guy like Kyle Tucker, they can move Bellinger to first. So it sets them up nicely. They get a little bit of a veteran presence, and I think it'll be good for guys like Volpe, who, for a young guy like him who plays in the infield too. So maybe he can be of guidance to a young guy like Volpe. So it's a low risk, man. It's a low risk move. The other free agents, I mean, I think the biggest hesitation was, it was just a lot of these guys came with QOs. Christian Walker, Pete Alonso, they came with QOs, and you know how the Yankees are when it comes to QOs. I mean, granted, they signed Max Fried, but that needed to happen because they did need an upgrade in the rotation with Soto or without Soto. It didn't matter. They needed to upgrade. They needed to have somebody in that rotation. So good move by the Yankees. I like the Goldschmidt signing. It's a 1-year deal, so he's probably just going to be purely a rental. And then let's see what they do next offseason. But I'm liking what the Yankees have been doing so far, man. I don't know if you've seen it on my shows, but I've been saying that there has been a fire lit under Hal, and I have never seen him move so quickly. It's almost like the inner George woke up in him. It's like, oh my God, that I got Soto taken away. We got to start acting now. And they're doing exactly just that. And Cashman, he's fleecing other teams. Let's be honest, man. He's making some moves, and moves that we don't expect. So it's been a good offseason so far, man. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, at first I was very against Goldschmidt. I was like 37. Why not just keep Rizzo? But then I looked at his numbers. I'm like, Rizzo was so bad. Yeah, anyone is an upgrade. So I'm the more I've talked with everyone here in the chat, and I've warmed up to it in the last hour and 9 minutes. Let's just put it that way. I was really against it, but for $12.5 million, I can't really be against that move because everybody else, like you said, would have given up the qualifying offer. You would have had to give up picks, which the Yankees don't want to do. They don't want to give up any more international money because they want to be able to get the Wandia Seasons of the world. They want to go and try to get Roki Sasaki, and you need international money for that. So you're absolutely right. This did make sense for them to help the team win now, and it could help them with some of these young guys because now you have a true professional hitter, a Hall of Famer over there. It's going to help out with some of these younger players. Like you need Austin Wells, you need Volpe, you need Dominguez to be good. And Paul Goldschmidt's a guy that actually helped Aaron Judge out a little bit 2 years ago when he went to that two-strike approach with the less of a leg kick, although I think he went against it. So I think it could be a Matt Holliday type signing. I've seen that brought up a few times on Twitter and all that. This reminds me a lot of Matt Holliday in 2017. If we can get production similar from Goldschmidt to what he gave the Cardinals last year, I'm going to sign up for that. Because again, first base was atrocious for the Yankees last season.
Yeah. Yeah, first base was not great last year. It wasn't. And would it have surprised me if they went internally for first base? Like, let's say, they go Ben Rice. I mean, you never know. I mean, they could have done that. Second base, they could very well do that. They could go internally and have like Vivas and Peraza compete against each other in spring training. But I think the Yankees are going to add another bat, whether it's for second base or third base. I could see them. Now it's like the question of Arenado. I mean, I'm sure you saw the news where they tried offering Marcus Stroman for Arenado, and the Cardinals said no. But in all honesty, if they said no, that's still their problem because they're trying to get out of that contract, and it's a very expensive one too. And keep in mind, I don't know if you guys know this, but if the Yankees were to get Arenado, hypothetically speaking, the Rockies are still on the hook for some of that money. So, and some of that money is also deferred on his contract as well. So I wonder how, if the Yankees were to get Arenado, how would they work that out with the Cardinals?
Well, I think the Rockies would still have to pay their part.
Yes.
I don't know how the deferrals would work if we have to pay the deferrals, but Feinsand did say in that article that the Cardinals were willing to eat like $15 to $20 million just to trade him to Houston. And he said no to that trade. That's why I don't think they'd take back Stroman. But he also said whoever signed Goldschmidt would approve a trade to that team. So I feel like the Yankees can call them up and say, look, you want to get rid of him. You were willing to pay X amount of dollars to do so to trade him to Houston. See if he would approve the trade to us and let's work something out. If he says he would approve a trade to the Yankees, the Cardinals' options are limited. Because again, obviously he wants to go to a team that's going to win. The Dodgers would be the first team on that list. They still have Muncy and they have Freeman at first. I don't think they would go that route. The Mets, maybe. Maybe the Mets would go after him. I don't know who's on his list or not. Apparently the Yankees were not on his list of approved teams. But now that we have Goldschmidt, that might entice him to waive that no trade clause. And I'm warming up to that idea as well. Like last night on Twitter, I was like in all caps, no, 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 no. It feels like Josh Donaldson all over again. But now Mike Rocky is saying we don't need Arenado to be great. 260, 15 home runs, 70 ribbies, top-notch defense, perfect fit. And considering the price would be a lot less than a free agent would be, you get Jazz back to second. That infield is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And your offense is better than what it was a season ago. Not actually, no, it's not. It's still not better, but the lineup is a lot more balanced because you'd have more guys at the bottom of the order that can hit. Last year was very top heavy with Judge, Soto, but now you have Arenado in there. You get Goldschmidt in there that are going to be just above average bats. You still have Judge, still have Stanton. You're hoping Wells and Volpe get better. Dominguez, I think Jazz is going to be really good this year. It's a more balanced lineup. I don't think it's better because you still lost Juan Soto, but I think it's more balanced.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they get Arenado, I'd be as long as the Cardinals are willing to eat some of that money. I mean, I'll make an exception. Initially, I was like no against Arenado because I didn't want the Yankees to take on his contract. I just didn't want that because he is on the wrong side of 30, and I do like Arenado. Don't get me wrong. If there was a time for the Yankees to get him, it was 2018. That was the time to get Arenado because he was on fire. But I don't know how his bat would do at Yankee Stadium, but the thing is, he's got the defense, And Cashman did make a mention of that they do need to improve on defense, and I'm glad he said that. And you're going to get that if they were to get Arenado for third base. That, like you said there, Rob, it would be a solid infield, and the defense would improve tremendously. Now, the thing with the lineup, is the lineup better? I mean, we'll wait. We'll have to. In a way, I'm going to say yes for now because, yeah, you're not going to have like superstars in the lineup. Like, not every player in the lineup is going to be like this mega star, right? But as long as you're getting good quality bats and you put in the ball in play and the situational hitting improves, because the situational hitting on this team was not the greatest, and you're not just constantly thinking, home run ball. As long as 1 through 9 produces and you're getting quality out of your lineup, I think this team could be better than what it was last year. I understand the Yankees had Juan Soto, and he did make a difference. He absolutely made a difference. I will never deny that. I mean, Juan Soto is Juan Soto. He is him. He's an incredible player. He's a rare talent, but one guy cannot address all 9. It cannot address the other 9 or 8 batters in the lineup. You need everybody producing. So, you can't only have like 2 or 3 people playing well in the lineup, and then the rest of the lineup is anywhere from, mediocre to average, right? Like, you can't have that. You need 1 through 9. You need all these guys producing. So you all want them to contribute in a different way.
That's absolutely spot on. Like, the thing is, you're not going to make up for Soto's offense. You're just not. And we can't say that enough. But right now, I think you'd have a hard time arguing that the Yankees' overall team is better. Their pitching's better. Their defense is better. Their lineup still isn't as good, but it's definitely more full now with the addition of Goldschmidt, and getting Bellinger from the left side certainly helps. The overall team is better.
Right.
I think that's something that we can say, but I'm looking at Arenado, and he's above average, and which, again, you're not looking to get, like you said, a superstar. You can't replace Soto. Bellinger should be really good. If Goldschmidt's just doing what he did last year, that's fine. And Arenado, still, despite his decline, still hit 16, which would probably be more in Yankee Stadium. He was still a 3-WAR player, and he had a weighted runs created plus over 100. He's above average, league average in that regard. OPS-wise, I think he was like a 712, so I would assume those numbers would climb up. He is projected for a 740 OPS season, so if we're getting those numbers plus the defense, the team is better. The overall team, the structure is better.
And that's what you want, though.
Yeah.
Because
run prevention.
Yeah. I hate to keep going back to the past, but when the Yankees won championships in the past, it's because everybody was a producer, right? Everybody produced. They didn't always have like the big name superstars, but they always had excellent players that played well offensively and defensively, and they always had the pitching. And the thing is, right now the Yankees pitching rotation is looking a lot better, especially with Max Fried. I was very happy when the Yankees added him. So that was necessary because, again, like I said, they had to add a starting. They had to add another starting pitcher with Soto or without. That rotation needed an upgrade. Some people didn't agree with that, but I'm like, no. Just believe me when I say that they definitely needed it. So, I think as long as they play as one unit, which I believe this team can, they can. I'm not saying a World Series is guaranteed, but they have a shot, just like they did in 2024. So, let's just see what happens. Right now, it's like they got to compete with the Dodgers. That's the team to beat right now is the Dodgers. So.
And it helps that the American League has not really gotten any better. Nobody has really upgraded in the American League. especially like the team that we played in the ALCS. Cleveland hasn't really done much besides bringing back Bieber.
Yeah.
So the American League's wide open. Tats is in the chat. Tats, where are you? I sent the link to you and Donald. Where are you? But good to see Tats in the chat.
What's up,
Absolutely
Tats?
improved on defense, and the lineup is looking more balanced with more moves on the way. Solid rotation, reliable back end of the bullpen. Tats, spot on. Tats is spot on. Just think if we get Roki. I'm still not holding out hope. I think he's a Dodger. But
I think he's a Dodger or a Padre or a Mariner, man. I think he's staying west. But hey, if Brian Cashman could somehow pull this off, wow.
Oh, okay, I got you. Tat's taking care of the wife. No problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Understood.
See what Graham's saying. We did need a proper number 2 with Soto. I don't know if we could have gotten Fried. Yeah, that's true. If we had gotten Soto, we probably don't have Fried.
Probably not, yeah. And that was the other thing, right? Like, I think we all would have been ecstatic if the Yankees signed Soto back. I mean, we all would have been super happy that he came back to the Yankees. But that was the other question: were they gonna be able to make other moves with Soto? That was the big question, because it's like, all right, cool, you brought Soto back, but there's other things that need to be addressed. And that was something that a lot of fans were talking about in the middle of the season, that, there's a lot of holes on this team. Well, it's one guy cannot solve multiple holes. It's as simple as that. So, I don't want to turn the whole Soto signing with the Mets as like a positive thing, but at the same time, it could be a blessing in disguise, so you just got to see how it all plays out, because you never know. Nothing is guaranteed. It improves teams' chances, right? Mets' chances improve, but just like the Yankees, they still have some holes. But the Yankees, though, in my opinion, I think they have filled in those holes, and they've done a great job of doing that. So they're not done by a long shot. They're still cooking. So just stay tuned.
It's exactly what Brian Cashman said. Now, just again, the whole Soto stuff. I know it seems like I don't want to keep bringing it up, but
yeah.
The argument against, like, oh, without Soto they're better. If you brought Soto back, it would have made the other additions you make a lot easier, because you didn't need to get Bellinger then. You wouldn't have really needed to get Max Fried. And it's like Graham saying, you would have been looking at that second tier, like the Flaherty's of the world.
Mm-hmm.
They still would have been able to create money to add to the team, but they wouldn't have had a huge, like, the offseason they've had has been great. And yeah, obviously I didn't want to forget about Donald. I was going to wait for the end of the show, but thank you, Tats. It is Donald's birthday, so everyone, and that's probably why he didn't answer, but it is Donald's birthday. Make sure that everyone wishes Donald a happy birthday. I wanted to save that for the end of the show so I can show a flurry of messages, but Tats went and ruined the plan. But it's all good, Uncle Tats. And yeah, make sure we wish happy birthday to our boy Donald, because he's getting up there in age. He's reaching Tats levels, and they're not senile old yet, but they're getting up there in age.
Yeah, I'm not far away from that either, man. So as far as the age goes.
What's up, D-Rod? If Soto was retained, Bellinger could have played first. I don't think they would have got Bellinger with Soto.
Probably not, no.
That's the thing. Like, the money just wouldn't add up. It would have to have been Soto and Bellinger, and that's about it.
Yeah, happy birthday to Donald, though. But hopefully he's doing well and being safe. So, but Donald. I think Donald's like a year older than me, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not gonna put his age number out there. I know how old he is, but I'm not gonna do that to him. I'm not gonna do that to him.
I won't say my age then. So
no, Ken, look, we've been doing the old joke for Sunil for a long time. Trust me, I'm not going to put you in that category. You might say you're older than Sunil, but Sunil shows his age a lot with the things he brings up. Let's not get into talk about Sunil too much.
Jokes. Anyway.
Yeah. Graham's 73.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Graham, you've seen it all. Graham's seen it all. That's big number, Graham. Let us know when your birthday is so we can wish you a happy birthday. Neil's holding the dirt. Oh, man. Donnie's going to be 40 on Valentine's Day. Let's see. Let's try to get some baseball stuff here. We'll be better without Soto.
Well,
That's really the
that's
big
the
question.
Yeah.
Will they be better without Soto?
This kind of, TC Steele's just turned 21. Yeah, TC
Hey,
Steele's, yeah, TC Steele's, yeah, man, you're 21, man. It's a great age.
21.
Yeah. But, look, I think the Soto situation in a way, it kind of reminds me of the Cano situation to some extent. And Brad just exposed my age. Thank you so much, Brad. And no, I'm not offended. It doesn't bother me. That's how old I am. So, but I feel great. But this kind of reminds me of the Cano situation, because when Robinson Cano signed with the Mariners, I don't know about how you felt, but I was like, you know what, this isn't a loss for the Yankees. I was like, let him go. He didn't deserve that kind of money, in my opinion. I'm not. It's not because I think he's a bad player. I just didn't think that he deserved it. But and the thing with Soto is the thing that's different about Soto is that he was, a better bat than a guy like Cano. But we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. I mean, these next 5 years it's gonna be really interesting. So we'll see if it was worth it for the Mets to sign Soto. Will they be able to get world championships? Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. But you need to still have like an overall good quality team all around. So it's like I said, I'm not hating on Soto. I like Juan Soto. There's no doubt about it. Excellent player. So you just don't know what's going to happen, because a championship is not always guaranteed, as we all know. So
Yeah. The Cano, I think I took the Cano signing a lot harder than I did the Soto signing, because I
yeah.
loved Cano. I thought he was supposed to be the next face of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And their response to it was bad signings. Beltran, I don't blame them for the McCann signing. Ellsbury turned out to be a disaster.
That was bad. Yeah.
Tanaka was a great signing, but they went out and just spent crazy money, and it didn't work out. And they didn't make the playoffs that year. And that was Jeter's last season. They didn't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2015, they barely made it, and they got bounced out in the wild card game. So it was a bad decision to spend the way they did. This time around, they're doing it right. They didn't go, we have to replace Soto's bat, so let's go sign the next big bat available. They got Bellinger, which is a reasonable addition because it cost them nothing. Cody Poteet. I liked him, but let's be honest, you needed Bellinger, you didn't need Poteet.
Right.
They went and got Goldschmidt for 1 year, veteran bat, worth the risk, like Rose for you, Babe says.
$12.5 million. I mean, shoot, that's cheap right there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get like 15 or 16, or maybe even more. I'm shocked we only got him for 12.5. And obviously, Max Fried makes you better. Devin Williams makes you better. And this Fernando Cruz seems like he's going to be an absolute stud. So
I like his stuff, man.
His splitter is filthy. So
Yeah.
Brian Cashman has done, and Hal, they've done a phenomenal job so far. And like you said, there's still work to be done. A lot of work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But not as much now. And the fact that it's not even Christmas and the Yankees can almost say their offseason checklist is kind of complete. Maybe one or two more moves, a third baseman and a lefty arm in the bullpen, and they're done.
Yeah. Yeah. And you brought up the thing with Goldschmidt about him potentially getting paid more, but I remember I had one of the agents on the channel, and shout out to Nathan for hooking that up. His name is Andy Moda, and he was a former he played Major League Baseball. He was a former player, but he then became an agent. And he did say that players in their 30s, when they're on the older side, they have a harder time getting the deals that they want. So the younger it's a young man's game when it comes to getting the deal that you're looking for. So Goldschmidt, he's what, 37, right? So you can't. I mean, a guy at that age. I mean, it's not to take anything away from Goldschmidt, but a guy at that age, you can't expect to get you know more than a year for a contract. It's just it's not gonna work that way. It's not the free agent period is it's not on your side. So the older guys have to settle. That for that. I mean, unfortunately, that's just a reality of the business. So you gotta the older players have to settle with what's being offered to them, and they got to consider, okay, what do I want to go for, because I'm not in my 20s no more. I gotta go what's whatever is the best offer for me. So
Yeah, and obviously when you're past I think that the age of 35 really is when it becomes difficult.
right.
That's why I'm surprised that Walker did get a 3-year deal, but when I heard that Goldschmidt was trying to get multi-year deals, like there's no way.
Yeah.
But Ken thought he
No.
was going to get a 2-year deal worth about 24 to 30 million, which would have made sense. But I'm okay with that amount because I really thought he
Right.
was going to get paid for more. Let's get to some of these comments here.
Mm-hmm.
FJ, good to see FJ. Do you think this means they go after Murakami? I would say Murakami before Vlad.
Yeah.
I would
I'm,
love
I'm
Murakami.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, you mentioned Murakami, so let's hope certain people don't pop in. But yeah, no. But in all seriousness, though, Murakami could be a guy that they do go after in the next offseason. By all means, that's maybe part of the reason why they didn't want to sign some of these free agents, because they were all attached to a QO. And again, how the Yankees are with their draft picks, and how they are with their international money. They are very good with having those draft picks. They're good with IFA money, and with the IFA money, they do a good job of like spending it on good players. I mean, I don't know I'm sure you saw recently, because I know you keep up with prospects, but they sign this like 17-year-old shortstop from Dominican Republic.
Yeah, they signed a shortstop, which they do every period,
Yeah,
and a pitcher.
and he's
And
filthy, man. I
yeah,
saw
and
his
they're
highlights.
attached to a season
Yeah,
next one, not this coming one, 2026 period. They're
yeah.
attached to Wandy season, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to give up money there. And I understand it because the
Mm-hmm.
Yankees never draft that high. They're always in the bottom of the rounds,
Yeah.
and they're not able to get the top talent. So how do you build your farm system? The international market and trying to hit on some steals in the draft. Let's see. Jorge saying, who is coming now, Arenado or Bregman? I'd say Arenado's more likely. Costs a lot less. And now that we have Goldschmidt, he's got his buddy. I think Arenado makes the most sense. Jake Boss. Goldschmidt, not a bad signing if we can get one more good lefty bat. I'm seeing a lot of people saying get a lefty instead of Arenado, which I understand. But I just don't know who that would be.
Wait, Arenado's
He's a
he's a
righty.
lefty, right? Or
He's a righty.
he's a righty, my fault.
Yeah.
And then Goldschmidt is also a righty. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, getting another lefty bat wouldn't hurt, but here's the thing though. I mean, whether it's a lefty bat or a righty bat, what's one thing that the Yankees lineup needs to do better? What was something that you during 2024, whether it was a lefty bat or a righty bat, what did they do a poor job at against the opposing team, opposing
Hit
pitching?
lefties. They
Right.
didn't hit lefties. So,
Yeah. So regardless, doesn't matter if I mean, one more lefty. I understand. I get where Jake Boss is coming from, but the thing is, those lefties couldn't hit other lefty pitching, and the righties. I mean, the same thing. So this lineup, though, they need to hopefully they do a better job of hitting lefties, lefty pitching on the opposing team. So
yeah, and Goldschmidt hit like 290 against lefties
mhm.
last year, which certainly is going to help. And let's see, Arenado last season hit 234. He was better against right-handed pitching, but
Oh, for sure.
he also saw a lot more righties. They could not hit
Yeah.
lefties at all. And situational
No,
hitting is another
that
thing.
situational hitting was sucked with the Yankees last year. It wasn't great.
And we're really just hoping that Goldschmidt's second half can carry over to this season. And if it does, then we got ourselves a really good player for one season. If he's just average, then that's fine. Let's see. Buster Olney just made me laugh. His current Yankees lineup has second baseman is Cabrera, DJ, or Peraza. I don't want to see Cabrera get a starting job because I think he's so valuable off the bench, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see DJ LeMahieu anywhere close to this roster. But he's going
Yeah,
to be there.
he's going to be a bench guy at this point. DJ is that's what he is. He's a bench guy now. His best days are behind him. The injuries have plagued him. You can't trade him. He's a 5'10" guy, which I don't think a lot of people know that. You can't trade him, so your only option is either DFA him or bench him. But they're not going to DFA a guy with 30 million still owed. Maybe when he has 1 year left on his contract, then they might make that decision. But as of right now, I think he's just a guy that comes off the bench. And, yeah, DJ shouldn't be anywhere near he should not be a starter, period.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I would think that they would be like, let's just pay him not to play. But I think they're going to see how he does in the spring. If he's somewhat usable, they'll give him a shot. But if he stinks it up or if he gets hurt, they're just going to let him go. Because at that point, you just like every year he's getting hurt. What's the point? You keep
Yeah.
wishing he comes back and he's a year older. Can he return to his form from 4 years ago? No. Unfortunately, he can't. Jorge's saying, who would be the ones of change in the position of. I think Jazz would go to second.
Yeah, Jazz would more than likely go to second base. I mean, that'd be the only logical move. And Jazz knows second base. So
That is his position.
that is his position after all. I mean, I don't think he would be a bad third baseman. He certainly has the arm to be a third baseman. He does. I mean, he's got a great arm, but yeah, if you move him to second, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that would help the infield defense tremendously. If they did get Arenado or get a third baseman in general,
Yeah.
then that moves Jazz to second. But if they got a second baseman, Jazz can be perfectly fine in third. Yeah, we know he can play third and center, but there's no need to put him in center.
There's no reason to put him at
You got
center
Bellinger,
field.
you got Grisham, you got Dominguez, and even Aaron Judge can play there if you needed him to. I am happy that Judge is going back to right field though.
Oh my God, yeah, you and me both, man. And that was another thing was I want Judge in right field. Ideally, I want Bellinger in left field and have Dominguez play center. That's what I want, really. I mean, let's just keep these because Bellinger is another guy. He could play anywhere in the outfield. Boone already said that, yeah, he's going to play wherever, whether it's first base or outfield. He's not going to be just stuck to one position. So because he did come out and pour cold water on that report that came out about Bellinger initially. So I think Bellinger should be in left field, put Judge in right, Dominguez in center. And I think your outfield would be solid. I think if you put Dominguez in center, I think he'd be a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I can see. I think Bellinger he's so good. He played a good right field last year as well, so I think he can be fine in left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and D Rod brings up a good point. You want the experience in center because that's kind of like the quarterback of the defense out there. So
I get it. I get it.
Bellinger can cover more ground. It would help out Dominguez, and I think it'd make the learning curve a little bit easier. I think that's the route they go: Dominguez, Bellinger, Judge.
Yeah, if they go Dominguez in left field, fine. I just hope he gets it. Hopefully he gets his reps and practices playing left field because it's going to be important. So we can't have any more drop balls on a routine play because we did see that a couple of times from him. And I won't criticize him too much just yet because I know there's been a lot of controversy about Dominguez, especially in 2024 when he wasn't called up and he wasn't being played and this and that. But in all honesty, look, I hope Dominguez does get the opportunity. As of right, I mean, it looks like right now he is going to be a starter. I hope he does get his opportunity, but right now we truly don't know what he's made of yet. We truly don't. We got to see 2 years of Dominguez to be like, all right, you know what, this guy's the real deal. We got to see like 2 or 3 years from him to see what he's truly about. Because yeah, he killed it in the minors, but how does he perform at the major league level? We don't know. We've only seen very small sample sizes of him, so we have to just be realistic about our expectations when it comes to Dominguez because when they built up Volpe to be the next Jeter, it's like I don't like that. I don't like these comparisons because then if he doesn't perform up to that level, you're all going to be very disappointed and you're going to say DFA him, send him back down. You're not going to be patient with him. So you got to be patient with these young players, but I'm asking for a lot from Yankees fans because us Yankees fans sometimes we get a little impatient when it comes to freaking prospects.
Yeah, you can't stress patience enough when it comes to these guys because Anthony Volpe, after 2 seasons, is already a villain to a lot of people.
Right.
They don't like him. He's a bust and all that. But I'm just saying. Everyone wants Dominguez to play. You better be patient because he could either be the guy he was for 8 games in 2023, or he could be the guy he was last year, which was not very good. I hope he's not from last year's version, but he was also just coming back from an injury. And I want them to play him every day, the same way they did Volpe. That's how you develop players.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, again with Dominguez, I'll try not to go down the rabbit hole too much, but with Dominguez, it's just, the guy started the season with recovering from Tommy John surgery. Yeah, they could have called him up when Giancarlo got hurt, but he got hurt at the same time too. He had an oblique injury, so he was out for a little while again. And then people were saying, how come they don't call him up? Well, it's like he just came back from 2 injuries. You got to let the guy play in the minors and let him develop, let him get back into his groove before you rush to call him up. I mean, again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like a lot of fans during the season were saying that this team had multiple holes, but Dominguez is only one guy. So how does one guy address multiple holes? One guy can address one hole. You need that unit. So that's why in this offseason right now, the Yankees are addressing all those holes right now. And I think they're doing a very good job of it.
Absolutely. And I'm excited. I think they've done a phenomenal job, and the job's not finished and they still have moves to make. Yeah, we did, Jack. It's an unfortunate news. Baseball lost an absolute legend. But on that note, I think I'm going to wrap it up here because it's been about an hour and 40 plus minutes. I want to thank NFE for joining me here for the last half of the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody that was here in the chat because I did not expect to see this many people. We gained some new subscribers, so the push to 1,000 is getting closer. We're 18 away. So thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. And make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, all that good stuff. And make sure you check out NFE's channel, The Strike Zone. He said he's going live later. I'm sure you're all subscribed to him, but if you're not, head on over to his channel, say what's up to him, and make sure you watch Lynn and Sierra tomorrow. They're going to be live at 11, as they do every Sunday, breaking down some Yankee stuff.
Yeah, and I just wanted to address Graham's question here. I plan on going live at 7 p.m., and I think you got a little special message there, so go for it.
We did Ken Claus coming through in the clutch, as he does every show, it seems, right now. And D-Train was gifted a membership from Ken.
Nice.
So as we say almost every show now, Ken Claus coming through in the clutch. D-Rod, good day to you as well. Thank you for popping in.
Ken's a giving dude, man. He's a giving guy.
He's a great dude. We love Ken. That's why we're very glad to have him. And D-Train, you got that membership. Everyone that's been gifted a membership to Ken, we hope you re-up. But say thank you to Ken. He's the best. We love you all. And I'm going to take Uncle Tats's line when I say, make sure you have a good day. This is Pinstripe Chronicles, where fans become family. Make sure you wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.